for so long, and we are supportive of his. Coach Kirby Smart, give it up for him.
Thank you. That right there is a sharp-dressed man. Yes, it is. First of all, I owe a huge thanks to Alex and the B2C staff and for allowing me to come and get in front of you guys, because it's an honor to be here. I'm flattered he asked me. He asked me to do it last year. I couldn't make it. I told him unless we won the national championship again, I would be able to do it. And we won it again, and I still did it. So I tell people this all the time. It's a pleasure, it's an honor to be the head coach at the University of Georgia, okay? Now listen, we had 22 starters on offense and defense last year in the national championship game. Of those 22 starters, 14 of those 22 came from this state right here where you guys played at. I tell people all the time, the state of Georgia is the greatest state in the country to play football. And why is that? They got great high school football, they got great youth football, and they got great organizations like this one that allow kids to be successful at a young age, okay? So when you draw a map around Athens, Georgia, and you say, I can go into Atlanta, I can go into all the rural areas across the state of Georgia and be able to get the best football players, I can promise you you're going to get the best coaching when you come to the University of Georgia, because it's a special place that we're able to do that. I'd like to share with you just a brief message and something that's helped our team have success. This doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what size you are, it doesn't matter what position you play. But we had a guy come speak to our team about halfway through the season. I felt like we'd hit a little bit of a lull. We were cruising along. We were undefeated, of course, but we also needed to play better if we were going to get where we wanted to go. And his name is Shep. He came in and Shep talked to our team, and he taught our team a kind of an acronym for ego. Everybody has an ego. Some people's ego is real big. Some people's ego is real small. But to play football, you can't have ego interrupt your team. And he told us ego stood for something. He said it's edging God out. And that's what ego is. Basically saying, I'm edging God out. It's no longer about everybody else. It's no longer about my teammates. It's no longer about what I can do without the ball. What can I do without the ball? Those guys that just came from the stage, they just walked down, they never get the ball. All right? They block and they pave the way for everybody else's success. But edging God out stuck with me. And we used that motto the rest of the year. I got another one for you he hit us with. He's sitting there talking to the group. Everybody's inspired. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, some privileged, some not so privileged. Everybody comes from different ethnicities. When you cross that white line, it's all even. Okay? And he talked about being able to never, ever forget. He said, you got to play every game like you're going to eat off the floor. He said, at Georgia, we eat off the floor. And from that point on, our players understood that you don't eat on a silver lining plate. You don't eat in some fancy, nice restaurant before the national championship game. You eat like you're hungry. Okay? And when you're hungry, you will eat off the floor. All right? You will eat off the floor. And our players have to play like that. So when we start talking about what we got to do for the next year, what we got to do for next year, we tell our guys it doesn't change. Ego, edging God out, and eat off the floor. Those mottos never change. Now, I love coming to this event. This event is about the award winners, but this event is also about recognizing excellence all across the state of Georgia in football. Football is not an easy sport. Okay? I went to a women's basketball game today. It's an air-conditioned building. It's a climate-controlled environment, and they don't have pads on. When you go to football, it's different. You know, our guys right now are getting up at 6 a.m. It's about 35 degrees outside, and they're on the grass rolling, picking up that dew. All right? And then they got to go to class at 8 a.m. All right? And then they got to go to their study hall. Then they got to come back over and lift. Then they got to meet. Then we do skull sessions. And then they got to go to study hall. And then they open up and repeat and do it again. Okay, so playing football is not an easy sport. If you choose and commit to doing that, you better be ready. Because no matter where you go to school, it's about toughness. And it's about understanding that you got to be sacrifice of yourself and your ego for the team. Okay? The greatest two traits those championship teams had for us Nobody had an ego. Zamir White wasn't worried about how many times James Cook touched the ball. Darnell Washington wasn't worried about how many times Brock Bowers caught the ball. Stetson Bennett wasn't worried about how many times we had to throw the ball to win. And on defense, the guys up front made the linebackers free. So it works as a team, and it's not going to change for you guys, okay? I'd like to share one message because Alex didn't tell me how long I could go. So I'll stand up here and talk all night if I can, okay? But I need you to understand this message as parents. Please, if you don't take anything else from this event, since I've been the head coach of Georgia, and this is going on my 8th year, I have never signed a player that I walked into my office that I said, did you start in the 5th grade? Did you start on your 13U team? Did you start on your 12? What were your stats on your 11U team? I didn't ask one of them that. Okay? What you need to worry about is hear me again, parents. Listen real good. If your son is here, what does he have to do to get to here? He has to work. He has to work. He doesn't necessarily have to touch the ball. He doesn't have to start. He doesn't have to do that, okay? We deal with it the same way. I've never had a general manager. General manager I'm good friends with from the Miami Dolphins, Chris Greer. He walks in my office. He has never said to me, Coach Smart, Trayvon Walker came from the state of Georgia. He was the first overall pick. And did he start as a freshman? No, he didn't. Did he start as a sophomore? No, he didn't. Started as a junior. He was the first pick of the overall draft. They don't care about that. They don't care. What they care about is what kind of character you have, what kind of work ethic you have, how hard can you get from here to here. And I think too many times we get consumed with the right now. Right now. What can he do right now? What can he do? Right now he can be a great teammate. Right now he can work out real hard. Right now he can help his team win games. Okay? We always use this acronym at our place, and take it home with you before I close. TEAM spells what? Team, okay? Together, everyone achieves more. If we all do it together, and we all buy into doing it right, we achieve 2 national championships using that motto. We had 7 All-Americans using that motto. We had guys win awards they've never won before using that motto. So it's not about ego. It's about team, and that's the way we do it at the University of Georgia. And I'm so appreciative. If you're a young man in this room or a young lady in this room, and you got an opportunity to come to this event, and you guys look great, by the way. This group over here, y'all look sharp as hell. I love it. So if you got an opportunity to come to this event, and you got dressed up to do this event, you better thank somebody. Grandma, mom, dad, somebody made sacrifices for you to be here, and we certainly appreciate what the people in this state have done, what Alex and his group has done. So many football organizations make my job easy, because if I recruit the state of Georgia well, guess what? I get to coach a lot of good football players, okay? Thank you guys so much, and go Dogs.
Give it up for him one more time, guys.
This guy right here is the reason I do it. I do it because he asked me to. He's the best in the business, and he's made a ton of sacrifices for these people in this room. Let's give him a round of applause.
All right, guys. So, got an all-pro come to speak. We had a 2-time national championship winning coach to speak. What you think, Brooks? That's not bad?
He turned the mic off. He knows what he's doing.
Tough act to follow, for sure.
Tough act to follow. I'll tell you what, though. Are those rings ready?